Welcome to this Season 8 preview of what to expect on Draft Utopia tomorrow. Our podcast is going to be back tomorrow, and there are going to be some major changes. Now, for starters, not only are we going to be on TalkShoe, we're also going to be on YouTube. Everything that we record at 9 a.m. on Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern on Fridays is going to be available on YouTube immediately following the podcast, because we can just take what we have from the recordings or the interviews and immediately upload it to YouTube. So sometimes it takes a few minutes for everything to upload on TalkShoe. You'll get a head start on our YouTube channel, so go over to Draft Utopia, type that in on YouTube, and subscribe to our channel. Like us, comment on our videos. We appreciate all the feedback. So tomorrow will be the 8th season of Draft Utopia, and what's going to be happening in tomorrow's episode is there's going to be different segments throughout Season 8. We're not going to get into the specifics yet, but when we have guests on, we're going to have the Huddle Hotline. It'll be similar to the Subway Fresh Take Hotline on Mike and Mike in the Morning. I got an email about an opportunity with Huddle, the site that does the games, so we'll have that. We're also going to have a draft watch board. This idea was inspired by the CBS Money Watch idea, and we were thinking of having a draft board where we talk about draft watch players that boost their stock, players that hurt their stock. This segment will be sponsored by Fanspeak, because we send them our draft boards each month, and they do fantastic work. So that's another change coming this season. And then we'll have the prospect profiles presented by the Evolution Network and the Joseph Potter's Quarterback Club, which will be presented by Draft Evolution, since the co-host of my podcast, Joseph Potter, does have a YouTube channel for the Evolution Network, and his website is Draft Evolution. So we're going to try to promote both of those brands as well as our own as we continue to build something special. We ended last year with some remarkable guests in Javon Hagan, Bob Torrey, GM of the Tri-City Americans. We already have 2 guests lined up in Albert Ruiz out of Florida Gulf Coast and Devron Davis, the Texas San Antonio cornerback, for our first 2 Sunday shows starting on August 6th and on August 13th. And we're in the process of contacting as many as 2 to 5 first-round picks in the upcoming MLB draft about coming on the show at a later date. And we may even try to get them on the 20th or the 27th, depending on the circumstances, what their schedule looks like. But we have a lot of exciting stuff going for us at the Utopia of Sports right now. And Season 8 will be tomorrow. The entire episode for Season 8 will be on TalkShoe as well as this YouTube channel. On Sunday, you will get the Albert Ruiz interview, just that interview, on the YouTube channel, and the rest of the podcast will be available through TalkShoe, and we'll be doing the same thing whenever we have a guest on. We'll only post the interview of the guest, and we'll filter everything else out, because we're afraid that the QuickTime player could freeze in the middle of the show, and if that happens, like it does on our TalkShoe account regularly, we have to start the QuickTime recording all over again. It's not like with TalkShoe where we can keep going and talking about different topics. So the one thing we definitely want to get up in Sunday's show is the interviews whenever we have guests on, because that's what people want to see the most. And I've already tested the sound, the audio. Everybody can hear us fine, so we'll try our best to add some visuals in when we save our TalkShoe episodes through iMovie, because we can save them directly through QuickTime Player, or we can save them to iMovie. Doesn't matter, but I use QuickTime Player to film every episode that's going to be uploaded to YouTube, and if I use iMovie, I can edit it, maybe put some visuals in to make it a little more retro, like whenever we have a guest on, you won't necessarily, but you'll see a photo of them in the background, and then you'll get to hear their actual voice on the podcast. So we're definitely going to try to incorporate some different features this season, and everybody on our writing staff that has busted their rear ends for our website the past 2 years, we're going to give them the chance to produce episodes where they get to write stuff for us. And we'll go by that, as well as other NFL material, other topics, trends in sports, whether it's NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, Major League Soccer. We'll go by what's going on in different topics. And mainly tomorrow, it's going to be the preseason game, which is about to start right now. You've got the NHL free agency recap, the NBA free agency recap, the MLB trade deadline winners and losers, and at the end, Ryan Romero and I, aka Draft Professor, go follow him on Twitter. We're going to debate whether Gordon Wild or Albert Ruiz deserves to be the top pick in the 2018 MLS Super Draft, leading up to Sunday's interview with Albert Ruiz. So Ryan's going to be making a debate for Wild. I'm going to be making a debate for Albert Ruiz. Should be a fun debate, and glad you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe to our channel, Draft Utopia, on YouTube. Enjoy your Hall of Fame game tonight.